You're listening to Rein It In with Ash and Josh.
You're going to like this one. This is a good intro I've written myself. About 20 minutes ago. In today's episode, we have a guest that has achieved incredible things at just the age of 24.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Currently 17th in the world rankings. Saw that on your Instagram. Had to double check that. In April 2023, ranked as the British #1 showjumper.
That's also 1 month.
Thank you very much. He's represented GB at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. That I know for a fact. Ladies and gentlemen, Harry Charles. There we go. That was not practiced at all. Harry,
Easy.
Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Nice, not too bad of a journey either.
No.
Only down the road.
Local, nearly about an hour and a half down the A3, so...
Oh, thank you so much for joining us today.
I think we've just become drinking buddies. Just
Well, we
realising
could be,
you're so close. It makes perfect sense.
So, tell us about the early years of Harry Charles.
To be honest, I had the lucky, upbringing. I was born into the sport, if you could say that. My dad was Olympian. He rode himself. He started actually with not much and not from a horsey background at all. He was the youngest of 8 children. And... horses have been in my life since as long as I can remember. I have 2 sisters as well, and we moved down to Hampshire when I was about 2 years old, and we built the farm from nothing. So I'd come back from school each day, ride 3-4 horses after school, and go to shows on the weekend with my mum. And when I could, go out and watch my dad compete. And it wasn't until I was about maybe 13 or 14, I took it a bit more seriously, started missing a bit of school to go to the shows, and then when I got to about 17, I left sixth form 1 year early and tried to have a good go of it. So since I was about 17, I've been doing it, or you could say professionally. So it's been a really cool ride up to now, and now just getting to live the dream, really.
That's incredible. Was it always going to be horses? Was there anything else on the cards?
No, I was always in a bit of two minds when I was younger in school, wanting to, I'd even go to a few pony shows, and all my friends would start having parties, and I'd always have to miss them, and I was like, I wish I could be normal and have a normal life. And but I think that's normal actually for a lot of people in it, and you miss out on a lot, but you got to sacrifice a few things, when you look now, whatever, 6-7 years down the line, I'm so glad that I did that. And I always actually loved flying and aviation, so for a while I was like, pilot was what I wanted to do. So for like a year I started grinding physics and maths in school.
Wow.
Just my mum told me that's what you need to be a pilot, but that was bribery to try and get me to do better. But no, I came back to the horses in the end. So
Did the bribery work?
Physics, actually, that was my shittest one.
Really?
Okay.
Not the one for you?
I passed it just about, but...
It's so funny. I've seen recently on TikTok, there's so many young people taking up learning how to fly helicopters.
Oh,
And
yeah?
I genuinely really want to learn how to fly. Well, I want to learn how to fly something. Don't know if it's about helicopters, because every time we talk about it, it's
Mate, I'm not getting in a helicopter.
yeah, no, fuck getting in a helicopter, because if all of a sudden that cuts out, that's just going
It's down.
straight down.
At least
Where-
planes have wings. They
yeah,
can glide
you can
down,
glide.
yeah.
But then, and I looked at, I spoke to someone about it recently, and then I realised the amount it costs to train to get your licence is not cheap at all. I think you're looking at it's a minimum 10 grand.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's crazy.
I've done 15 hours of a private pilot's licence in
Wow.
a small plane already. But that was already 3 years ago, and I think I've already going to lose them hours because I've not had time to go back.
Too busy.
So how many hours do you have to do for your pilot's licence?
45 to get it, but then once you get it, to be honest, you can't fly anywhere because you need an instrument rating and then a night rating. So
Right, yeah.
if there's clouds out, you can't fly
Yeah.
because you're not. So it's another 20-30 hours on top of that. So
It almost
it's a
goes
grind.
into that level of commercial licence, of what you can fly in between, what hours, etc.
Yeah, nearly. Yeah, you need the full shebang to do to fly when you want, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to just take myself off to the show in the plane, Like last.
I tell
would
you
be-
now, yeah. If you rock up to a show in your own helicopter, boom.
I'm not going in a helicopter.
Yeah,
I'll come
no, good,
crashing
smart,
down in the
don't
middle of it.
Can you imagine being like at the GCT and you just landing a plane on Miami Beach, just rocking up?
I wouldn't even bring the horses. That would just be.
Yeah, exactly. You're just going for your own whale of a
Yeah.
time for the sake of it. That's quite a different approach to going down the horses. Is your mum into horses as well, isn't she?
So she rode ponies and stuff when she was really young, and then she was a nurse, and that's when she met my dad. So she was always she knew a bit about the sport, which I think.
Did she meet your dad because of the numerous injuries that he would receive from falling off and then consistently going to hospital?
No, it would be a lot
that's
cool.
such a-
That would be
yeah,
a lot
that'd be a
cooler.
really cool
if,
story, wouldn't it?
not as cool
That
as
would be
I
the
think.
way
Yeah.
to have that story. So yeah, there's almost that level of she was like, I don't understand it, but I guess if horses is where you're going to, which sounds inevitable, horses is where you're lying to, and you've never looked back since.
Yeah, pretty much.
And go on, Carl.
So how did you find secondary school? You've talked about it as you got older. You started to think about horses as a career. You were spending less time at school, and you're missing out on the parties. I think a lot of riders go through really similar things. Being a guy, there's stereotypes that you receive. Being a guy that rides horses isn't perceived as cool. How did you find that going through secondary school?
To be honest, I probably got quite lucky because the guys I went to secondary school with are all my best friends now. They're all my closest friends. I'm a lot better friends with them than anyone in the sport. So I probably had it easy. They all thought it was actually pretty cool, and I was getting to go all the places at the weekends and come back on Monday. And
Nice.
a few girls rode in the school as well, so they thought also it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
And it's weird, like you say, when you're younger and coming up, it's so female dominated, and then when you get to the top end, it's so male dominated.
Why do you think that is?
I really don't know. I really don't know why.
We pondered this question quite a while. It's a strange one because there's certain things that we've tried to work out in the sport, especially like some strange scarcities to it. And I think you came up with one of the best answers. It is also the only sport in the world where amateurs and professionals mix. That's going on the correct answer you gave. Like,
Yeah,
months ago.
100%. You don't really see like Cristiano Ronaldo like being in a park playing football with local kids.
No.
Whereas if you turn up at a show, you're there with clients that you train or work
Yeah.
with. So it's a real mix.
And I mean, a lot of the time in a 5-star, an amateur can honestly just pay to enter and ride.
is
Which
that quite a
bonkers
known? Because I've heard the odd story that, and this is where some of the stigma comes from. Horses and money, and it's not accessible for people from different class backgrounds, etc., financial incomes, etc. That it is also perceived it's an industry that you can just buy your way into a little bit, and you do sort of hear people just throwing money into getting into those 5 stars and getting away with it. For someone like you that's kind of like, and it's similar to, I guess, Ollie speaking the other week about how he had his horse and it's just an absolute, just magical. You're like, how the hell have I been this lucky with the horse? And you work that hard. Is it a little bit irritating to a certain degree when you see that, and it's almost like it's a little bit of a cheat code at all?
Yeah, it's two things. It's first of all, I came up, I did all the 2 stars and 3 stars, and I managed to get my ranking high enough to be able to get into a few bigger shows, a few 4-star shows, and then the Nations Cup series is really the best way to get yourself name out there and stuff. And then you see, a girl comes in or a guy and buys 3 or 4 horses for 10 million, goes. Honestly, no, that's
It's
not,
mental, isn't it? It's crazy because I'm only like 4 years in, and when I've heard about I'm still to a certain degree learning about the money side of it. I'm like, blows my mind.
And they, go train for a year, and then the next year they're jumping, trying to jump the top level. It's a bit like but in the end of the day, they're never really gonna win. They can go and enter and have a nice time and take the photos and post it on Instagram, but they never really end up winning. But then, they're good for the business. We need them people for the business. You know, they put so much money more back into the sport.
And I can imagine some people's opinions as well. They look at you and think you're very lucky for having the father that you do. That has helped you in the sport. I don't look at it in that way. I look at it as the extra pressure that you and your sisters have to have. Like, you've got a name and a reputation that you have to uphold, which is difficult, I can imagine. But also, I'm sure you've had many blessings from it, that you have so much networking, but at the same time, if you're not talented, you can't maximize it anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a huge advantage. It's my head start I've got on everyone else. I'm so lucky to have it. To be honest, it's been really nice. My dad, we've never been made to feel like there's any pressure on us. He was never pushed us into it. We could always have our own direction we wanted to go. And I just, try and use it as a head start. I know people can say, oh, he's born, but I am, so.
If you're lucky enough to
we all play the cards we're dealt. So
100%. Give your mic a little push into that. Go on, don't be shy. Push it right in.
What? Get up here.
Go on, push it.
Push it out.
Yeah, there you go. I can see it flopping out. Go on, Josh. You play with Harry's mic. I know you've been wanting to do it for quite a while.
Well, he's a good-looking lad, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Was with your dad, because obviously this is the weird thing about similar to professionals and amateurs, it's the same thing like to hobby to business. Is there a level of having to compartmentalize between the love of doing it and taking, like, say, constructive criticism from a family member from the business side, where part of you's probably just like, fuck off, Dad, leave me alone?
Yeah, no, we've had a few of those. I mean, he does a very good job of separating being a dad and being a trainer.
Yeah.
But he's the person I listen to the most out of anyone, because in the end, they're always going to have your best interests at heart more than anyone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he can switch it on and switch it off, which is really...
In fairness, he's probably got the best CV to give you advice over a lot of people. Did you go to the Olympics and watch him when he competed?
Yeah, I was there in London, with my mum and stuff.
What was that like?
I actually never watched the round live.
Do you not?
No, my mum wouldn't let us go. She was too nervous. So we were actually in one of the staff rooms watching on the TV. We could hear like all the crowd and stuff, but the last round when he won the medal, we were all... My mum was in the toilet. Yeah. She was like sick to her stomach, but we were all out with all the volunteers. Me and my sister were the volunteers watching it in the staff room.
What was your mum like when you competed in 2020 at the Olympics?
To be honest, I don't really know. They were all at home watching on the TV because we couldn't get with COVID. We could only get one accreditation extra.
Oh yeah, because it was COVID during the Olympics.
Yeah. So it was like a really weird experience, and so it was only my dad was allowed to come, or family couldn't come out. So and they were obviously 9 hours behind as well. So
okay, let's go to because it's such a big part of your life, to be present during that at the age that you were. How was it right at the beginning? You're getting told, yeah, Azza, just to let you know, you're off to Tokyo. Hope you enjoy sushi.
You're off to the replacement as well, weren't you?
Yeah. So I remember I was in Knokke in Belgium, and I was we're out for dinner with at the time my girlfriend, and I got the call. I was waiting all day on this call. I knew it would be the day like we was getting the call, but I'd driven for like 6 hours and the phone not rang. I'm like, fuck. And I just got back from Poland actually the day before, and I just jumped clearing for my Nations Cup, and we done clearing Grand Prix. So I knew I would be it would be on the edge. So anyway, I was driving. I mean, I was just literally food came, phone rang, I went, oh, picked it up, and it was Di Lampard. She's our chef. She goes, yeah, Harry, just it's good news. You're on my squad for the Olympics. God. They stood up, fucking high-fiving all the waiters. They didn't have a clue what was. I told them.
I'm going to the Olympics.
Yeah, so,
we don't do Belgian waffles here. I don't know what this man's on about.
So yeah, that was the day, and it was. I remember I had about 10 phone calls to make. My dad, my mum, my groom, my owners. It was just an amazing. And them 2 weeks building up to it were just so good. And the whole experience flying out. You know, we were walking through Heathrow Airport in tracksuits. We're walking through a lounge and people like clapping you in, walking onto the plane.
Really?
We had the whole business, they booked the business class cabin just for 5 of us.
What?
Because we were one of the last teams to go out.
Yeah.
Because all the other countries had gone out. Equestrian was right at the end. and with COVID, obviously they didn't want anyone mixed, like any of the public, like near us, because it's such a risk. If one of us got tested positive, we'd all be locked in a shipping container for 2 weeks, and none of us would be allowed to compete. So we had a whole business cabin to ourselves. Pilots came out, like wrote us a letter, like of good luck. Got to go in the cockpit, landed. It was.
Is that when you turned around and said, "Look, I've done 15 hours. I can actually land this"?
I did offer my services, but it didn't take me off of it.
That's incredible. So you're there. Like, how did you manage to mentally deal with that pressure? Because I mean, for me personally, I've been in high pressure situations, but that's something only the very few can imagine being in or have been in.
Yeah, that week was a big roller coaster emotion. I mean, one was about best time of my life to the shittest time of my life, and back to being okay again. Went out. People actually didn't really know, I guess, because it wasn't. I don't think the British Equestrian did a very good job on social. We'd made a plan already 3 weeks before that I was going to ride on the individual and Holly was going to be reserve for that, and then we'd switch for the team. So I knew going out I was riding. But people didn't know that, and on social media they'd literally announced it the night before, and everyone was kicking off, Holly should be on the team and all this. But
because there was an article in the Daily Mail about it, wasn't it?
Well, that was because that was the Moffats that did that. Right, that was completely separate. That was a bit of a spanner in the works as well before just throwing the toys out the pram. Yeah. But anyway, when we got there as well, I was a bit like, oh, for fuck's sake, not another one of these. Yeah. But then, really, I was just because Holly was there for the team. That was her thing. The goal is the team and the individual's a bonus. So they said, Harry, this is a great experience for you to go. And I don't think I was expected to qualify for the individual final. There's 80 guys and only 25 get in. And so I went clear the first day and qualified. So I was already like, shit, this is more than I had imagined.
Yeah, like straight away you're top 25 in the world.
So the individual final was the next day, and I knew my friends at home were all having a big thing to watch it.
That's 20 insane. Of them. That's good support.
Well, it was fine, and then I completely missed the distance, about a fifth jump in, and poles, and I just remember that. I think, oh my god, everyone at home's watched that.
Is that when you missed? Is that the first thing I thought went through your head? Is everyone's
It's one of the things walking out, and to be honest, I jumped a few more jumps. I pulled up, came out, and I remember walking out there and thinking, "Oh, this is my career done." I really was like,
really,
yeah. I was just the whole world's watched that. I was just in. I sat, cried for about 2 hours. It was just so shit, and obviously Ben won, so it was
something that came
support. It was
that's
really
so
amazing to see.
Because you're. I can imagine that situation. You truly emotionally are investing. Like Ben's won, really, really happy for you. But also at the same time, you're sitting there, you're like, this is the biggest moment of my life.
Just made a tit myself.
And so it's a real contrast of emotions.
And my owner was out there. She flew all the way from America, so I was just feeling a bit for her, like I let her down. And so then the next day, I thought, right, that's my Olympics done, and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of it now. And then Scott's horse had a small injury. So they said, you're going to have to jump the team. And I went, oh, for fuck, please no. Please no. And then I said to Scott, do you think, no, I said, you're going to have to jump. So I'm like, oh, bollocks, this is not good, because the horses have just come out, had a bad experience. I'm not mentally really in a great place. So we had the team. So the team, this is a new format. So the team qualifier was a day off from the team qualifier. But actually to get into the team final was pretty, let's say, easy. It was 10 teams qualified, and I think 15 teams. And so we said, right, I'm going to take it really easy, give them like a training round nearly. It doesn't matter if I have a couple down, just trying to set them back up for the team final, because that's the day that counts. And with team final, you go back to a blank slate. All the teams start on zero again. So I think I could go in and have like 4 or 5 down. That was how big the margin was. And I had a couple down, and I said, right, okay, actually, he's reset a bit. That's a bit better. Team final came around, and I walked the course, and I really said to my dad, I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to jump this. And this is the biggest lesson I learned. I'm never going to go have social media again in a situation like that. I was terrible. I was reading all the comments, the things on Instagram. I was just getting to me. I was not sleeping at night. I just tortured myself, for those few days. and then actually came out the team final. Unfortunately, Holly had 4 down before we started, so the kind of chance had already gone. So I had 2 down, which actually was not too bad a score, and I came out the ring pretty happy.
Yeah, it took the pressure off.
Yeah,
I guess.
I came out the ring really. I said that's actually decent. Around my track, I was very happy, and I came home very, very happy.
You've touched on it there with social media, that you, with who you are and what you're doing, you're in the limelight a lot. We've touched on it. We had an article in the Daily Mail that again was a spanner in the works in your preparation for the Olympics. You've then had horrible comments on social media that we've both experienced, and unfortunately it does get to you. So from those experiences with what's happened, is there anything other than not having social media that you've had to put in place so you're more mentally prepared for the level of fame that you're now experiencing?
It's not so much. I mean, come the Olympic, it was a completely different level I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like you get every day, you're getting contacted by BBC, Sky News. It's like crazy, the exposure you get.
And they like finding your like phone number as well.
Yeah, you've journalists calling you 3 or 4 calls a day. It's
how
mental.
they do
Yeah,
that
it's I don't know how they do it, but I said like it's not the real world at all. No one comes up to you in real and says that shit. You might get one jackass come, but
yeah, we've
they've got nothing better to do than write comments on.
No, we've experienced it.
Me more so.
Yeah, probably Josh more so. I mean, I don't know if you've seen our early content on TikTok, Harry. I'm sure you're a big fan of it. I'm sure along with all the top show jumpers, my stuff gets shared around frequently as I'm the most watched. But yeah, we've experienced a lot of negative feedback from it. But also it is on the point you're saying about social media isn't real. It's why we enjoy doing the podcast, because it is the realest people can see us.
Yeah.
There's still probably an element that isn't real because we're presenting, we're sitting here talking and trying to interview and find the best questions to the best answers to get the truest version of you out. So we can never be our true selves. Probably the truest self I am is when it's just me one-on-one with Josh or me one-on-one with my girlfriend. And
you so said that in the wrong order.
Yeah, sorry, darling. Sorry. So yeah, the thing is like we've been around those social media influencers where it is, especially also mainstream, the minute you see them off camera, completely different. So yeah, for social media for you, it must be quite a difficult one to manage going forth, especially in your prime of like in your 20s, and it's so prominent in your life.
Yeah, all the sponsors want you to be, have a good social media following, be good on social media, and I find it quite difficult. I don't think I'm very good on it. I don't. I do it all myself. I only run my Instagram. I don't have a Facebook page, or I don't have a TikTok. My friend actually started a TikTok for me.
Harry Charles
everyone thinks it's me, but it's not me. Just
do you know what? I backed you on TikTok once. Yeah. So no, genuinely I did. I want. We might have to bleep this out depending on it. So basically, this could be bleeped out, so don't worry about it if it has to be.
I love this fine. Already.
So yeah, some freaking girl so I didn't know you, this was like 2 years ago, made a TikTok about the fact that you followed Andrew Tate.
Oh yeah. No, I got sent that. Yeah,
yes,
I got sent that.
I was in the comments like, if this was a girl and you did this would be hateful content, but because it's a boy, it's perceived fine, and he can follow who he wants. Like, just because he follows him doesn't mean he agrees with everything he says.
That's it. That's
honestly, I then got more hate than you did.
Yeah, he did. Honestly, I was howling. I got a phone call. It was just like, I was just back to Harry Charles and somehow I'm getting shit. I was like,
the comments back on there were just going absolutely crazy. I was getting death threats in my DMs, everything.
That was just from me.
No, I saw that. My few friends saying, I just thought, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
You've got to laugh at it. It's the simple ones that make me laugh. We got a comment on a short the other day, and it was talking about business, and it was education. It was a really good bit of content. Just on who cares. Honestly, made my day. It was so blunt to the point. I was like, yeah, it's a good point. Who actually does care? But social media with the sponsors, you were saying, how do you manage that? Give your sponsors a little bit of shout out. Who are you sponsored by, Harry?
My main sponsor, my best one would be Rolex.
Don't say best sponsor. one of your sponsors, because then your other sponsors go.
No, but they're the ones I think outside the sport who have they're the biggest
I would
brand.
say they are the best to be quite honest.
Yeah,
If you were
so,
sponsored by Rolex.
so they I've been with them now for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been one of the highlights of my career, to be honest. Being part of that family of those athletes, and being able to we did great things to go to Wimbledon each year. Went to the golf, the Open the other week.
Did you actually?
Yeah, went there with them. And their events in the sport are head and shoulders above the rest. So
Yeah.
every Rolex weekend we get is serious, and it's the best money as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Calgary last night, the Grand Prix was for $3 million.
What?
Yeah, Martin Fuchs won. Took his hand off the reins over the last jump and everything.
Oh, what a
What?
geezer.
Yeah.
To be fair, this actually moves on nicely to what we have. So, Paris 2024, no doubt you'll be there.
Oh, you never know. No,
No. We're manifesting this for you,
We're
right?
backing it, Harry.
We are backing it.
Backing it.
We are going to come up with a celebration for you to do on the podcast that you then have to do
Yeah.
when you go clear at the Olympics. Like the Mo Farah one in London 2012 Olympics.
Well, there was also another one. Didn't a footballer do it? And on League of Their Own. And
I think they shaved their head though, wasn't it?
we're not going to ask you to shave red. That's a bit brutal. I think there needs to be some. When you jump clear, you take home gold. GB #1, Harry fucking Charles. You need to look dead eye in one of the cameras and do a celebration. What I don't.
Yeah, but you got to come back.
I think it's got to be the Julio and Ciso celebration that he does when he scores a goal.
No, I tell you what. Let's plain and simple. This is how we'll do it. One of the lovely ladies, stand up. Okay. Indicating this is Charlie. So, first thing that comes to your head, no thinking about it. Obviously, you're sat on a horse. You've just jumped the last jump. Think of some sort of celebration dance movement, and that will be it. Final. Okay, so
Mexican wave.
Okay, start with the Mexican wave, and then I think it needs to be finished with something else because Mexican wave is very generic. Then something to make it a bit more unique. So Mexican wave, Sophie, you've just done the Mexican wave.
Oh my god!
First thing that comes to your head, how do you finish that off? Okay, I'm going to ignore that. It's dreadful.
We'll work on it afterwards.
Yeah, I think it's going to start with the Mexican wave, and I think potentially just a.
You guys got a year to brainstorm.
Yeah, we will put on social media what this actual celebration is going to be. I thought it was quite a good idea, to be fair. I think
it was one of your better ideas. I'll give you that.
Thank you. Very dangerous ideas I had beforehand to it. I'm actually going to go back a step because I'm fascinated by the Rolex side of it. So being a sponsor, what is the sort of how does that work in like, are they strict on like what you can do on social media? Is it
not really. They're pretty good, but I say Rolex and Longines have a bit of beef
rivalry
with their competitors.
Yep.
So I'm not allowed to post any, and every show nearly each week is a Longines one, so not allowed to post any photos with Longines in the background or like yesterday actually I was second in the Grand Prix in Ascona, and it was they had made you put a hat on.
Yeah, you've got to be constantly. I'm on lookout.
Dublin as well. They give you a hat, and that goes straight back. And I see Georgia, my groom. She's got a hat. I said, George, get it off. Get it off.
If you ever need to donate them to anyone, we will happily take.
So, have they given you some?
Somewhat, yeah. I've been
You
lucky enough.
this is it better be Rolex.
Yes, yeah.
Let's have a little gander.
That's it's called it's an oyster, but with Tiffany colorway thing. So I just saw it and loved it, and
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
yeah,
It's not bad, is it?
It's not too bad.
It's our best sponsor in the world. You can say have what you want, but you're very generous what you can get. So
You need to get like a GB one for when you're doing the Olympics.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Like red and blue and.
That would be cool.
Do you think Rolex would sponsor a podcast by any chance? Because I know one. We are
looking for sponsors.
We are very selective on which sponsors we take out. And I mean, I for this episode, I'm wearing my Rolex. I don't know.
It's
if
discontinued that one.
do you reckon you could tell me if you think this is real or not? I have no idea. I think this was handed down through generations in family, so it actually might be worth like $250,000. There's actually no battery in it, Harry. I noticed that the other day. I think it weighs something. I think it might be real. I don't know. It's got a serial number on. That's a good start, I guess.
Could be, yeah. One of them vintage ones.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know
Depop special.
Yeah, they sell for something, don't they? Maybe I'll have a little look into that.
But at the beginning of the podcast, you said this whole journey so far has been one hell of a journey.
Yeah.
I want to take you back to the 2019 Europeans. When you won you won individual gold as well at that time?
I won individual gold and team gold.
And team gold, and then
6 months later,
you had to disqualify and gave it back. That must have been one of the best and worst experiences of your life, no?
Apart from the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But I got from what came out of that was unbelievable. What happened and how that actually kick-started my career.
Really?
Yeah. So I it was in Fontainebleau. I had this incredible horse. It's Vivaldi de Dom. I'd had him since for about 4 years. He did 3 European championships and he won 6 medals. So a team and an individual medal every time he went. There's the best record any horse in a youth championship ever had. And it was my first year in Young Riders, and I won by I think it was 8-fold. I could go in the final round and have 2 down and still win. So it was. Anyway, he won it very easy. I say easily. I'm not trying to be, but he did win it quite easily. Yeah. And about 2 months later, I got a call from a BSJ. He said on my dope test, he's found a positive for a controlled medication. I'd never heard of it.
Right.
It was a substance called lidocaine.
Yeah, no.
It's used a lot in numbing creams, and you see it a lot in. I don't know, when you get a rash and stuff, you put it on and stuff.
Also tattooing like numbing
creams.
Yeah.
They give it, when you get a tattoo, they give you stuff in lidocaine in it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm the expert now on lidocaine. And I mean, to try and trace it, we were like looking all over, and so we had to everyone who might have had contact with the horse, and we have very good family friends of ours. They are family, actually. They live in France, and I mean, he wouldn't mind me saying his name, but I'm not gonna.
We can bleep if and down if you change your mind.
Our good friend Craig and his wife, sadly, has a quite advanced form of skin cancer, and she has this. We had to ask everyone what they use every day, and she has this cream for the cancer, lidocaine on it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And it's the only thing that
could have think of.
It's the only thing. And she was in contact with the horse, and so actually this is really cool now. Yeah. So the substance was the amount found was so small that the scientist, we had about 4 scientists on it. It couldn't have affected the performance of a flea. It's a grain of sand split into...
And they took your medals away?
Took my medals away. A grain of sand split into 2 million pieces.
What?
That's how small...
Could you not appeal it?
We appealed, and the FEI was so... He said, if you take this to court... We wanted to take it to CAS, which is the Court of Aberration for Sport.
Yeah.
If you do this, you're going to get banned.
What, if you appealed, you're going to get... What?
And the only way we'd appeal it is in the FEI court with their judges. So
it's a bit biased.
Legal advice is you can't do this. It's a lose. You're walking into... So we didn't know. I really didn't want to give the medals, but it's bullshit.
Yeah.
So I took the medals, got them engraved with my name before I sent them back.
That is a gangster move.
Well done.
Gangster.
So some German fellas were wearing my medal with my name on it, which I find very satisfying.
That is amazing.
And so anyway, we kept going, and 2 years ago they changed the rules and they upped the levels. So if that happened now, I would have been...
So how long after that happened that they changed the rules?
A year after.
So within 12... It's almost like they looked at that situation...
Because a lot of riders got together and said... Because they were so scared because it could happen to...
Anyone.
It was a contamination.
Yeah.
And it had been a few riders, like Steve Gerda had it a few years ago with poppy seeds.
Right.
And it's just worrying because we can't control what our horses come into contact with.
Yeah. You're nearly
scared to put them out in the field. And I mean, so many shows... like we had a case study where, I mean, a lot of the global tours are in public parks and stuff. And the week before they're having big festivals, people pissing up against trees on the gear. If your horse is sniffing around, and the levels are so small, if they even ingest a tiny bit, they go and piss, and that's in the piss. And that's you done for 2 years.
So, and I'm probably the most inexperienced out of all of us. I'm going to go with I am the most inexperienced out of all of us. So they test your horse 2 months after, or how do they come out?
No, they test them there.
They test them there, and then those results. So they then look back through those results 2 months later. That's where they're.
And you only hear something if something's gone wrong. You never hear from them if.
Yeah, exactly. So my horse was tested on a Friday after the team event, and that one was the positive test. And then on Sunday after the individual, and that one was negative.
Yeah.
So it just shows how minuscule.
And that's actually the day it was positive was the day I knocked a jump down.
Because it's funny, obviously.
There's no common sense to that at all.
It's really funny though, because I remember seeing this on social media or whatever, and didn't obviously show jumping. I'm a dressage rider. Didn't really look into it, but saw it, whatever. But hearing how you've explained it, I'm like, that is absolutely ridiculous and pathetic on the FEI side of things to even do that.
I mean, they make a lot of weird decisions.
Yeah.
Do you think they've got better since in that time period?
The contamination thing was always a problem, and I think it wasn't until this, and there was another couple of cases that then they really cracked it. They said, "Okay, you've got to protect your riders a bit here. This is really impossible to control."
But it only should be anything. Don't get me wrong, if a rider took steroids and was huge, it's not going to benefit them as riders and increase their performance.
No.
The same with horses. There's no way in hell that stuff like that is going to increase their performance. So it's ridiculous. Like when you actually look, I did the ACE apprenticeship up at Harbury College, and we looked into like some of the things that are banned that you can't take.
As a person or a horse?
There's more things banned for horses than humans.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, more substances. Yeah.
But is that because the horse is probably 70%, I think is a fair ratio, of the thing that does the work? It has the power.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'd be about right.
Yeah. But what sort of things in terms of like doping for horses are there that people like can use, have used? Is it just similar to like human doping, where it's like, say, if you was a runner, they may take I can't remember what it is. There's a football team that literally is all on it, and they're all asthmatic. I think it's the Man City team.
And Liverpool,
and Liverpool.
Yeah, so they have TUEs for them.
And they basically, their endurance can go long. Is it similar sort of stuff like that?
I think it would be the most common would be to try and quiet one down or get one more energy,
or cover lameness or any injury issues.
Right. Yeah, of course.
But like, it's like for riders, it's like even certain cough syrups or anything like that. If you take that, if you're ill or anything, without like a doctor's note or stuff like that, you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, one rider had it's a Regumate you give the mares, to help them with their cycles, and poor groom got the feed bowls, didn't wash it out proper, and gelding ate out of it. Dope tested, banned.
That's I can't wrap my head around it, because the thing is, it's literally like at some point as well, I wouldn't say career ending, but I think I'm going on to the point of like, when you're attached to that, is it quite a difficult stigma to shake?
Yeah, I was quite lucky because I had a lot of support and I had a very, very good lawyer, and it was so clear because the levels were published that it's so small that that's nothing other than a contamination. So I tell you actually how I said actually what it turned into. So my lawyer was she's amazing, and I met my owner through her, and I got my horse, this is Romeo and stuff. Then a year later, met another couple of mates. I just met so many people through that experience, and they came and not showed sympathy, but were a bit like, oh, that's. I think without that, I wouldn't have met a lot of it. It kind of put a lot of things into place.
Yeah, at the time you would have looked and been like, why on earth is this happening to me? And when you look back in 2 years' time, you're like, that's one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Yeah,
but at the time, it felt like my world was ending.
I mean, and the cool thing is when I still go to shows now, and especially in Germany, even in Germany and France, where it still announced me as a European champion.
Do they actually?
Because I think it's widely acknowledged as I won that fair and square that championship. And I think Will Fletcher still has a European champion in his bio on Instagram. He refused to take it.
Does he actually?
He did do.
Why don't you put yours back in?
Oh, it was a few years ago now. So
no, fuck it. I feel like
he's now an Olympian. He's moved up.
I still say whenever they
true.
interview me, I still say, well, I'm in the reporters don't even know about me. Oh, yeah, you did, yeah.
No, I think I should add that in, that actually you're a European champion as well, because
so.
I feel like if you want to put that back in your bio, I feel like this is the perfect way of explaining what happened in the right way. That actually, you are a European champion.
Well, if it happened to, I would be. That's the thing.
Have you had any contact with the geezer that's got your medal? Have you ever come across him in the ring and
I've seen him a few times after.
Squared up, just been
it's not his fault. He's all right, but
just give him the eye.
I don't know if I could take that though. If you fully knew yourself that you didn't deserve it.
I was a bit salty for a bit, but in the end, it's best to just move on. And anyway, he looks at his medal. He don't want to look at the back of it anyway. So.
And that is one of the best moves that I've ever heard. That is so funny.
I just said, my mum was like, I'll take him for you.
100%. If there's one person, say there was going to do an equestrian, we would do this 100%. We'd also run it if we had the money to set it up. Say we was going to do a charity equestrian boxing event. Who would be your one opponent that you go, I'll tell you what, let's have a scrap. Go on, call them out right now.
Me and Jack, that would be a good one.
Yeah?
Jack's my best friend, but it'd just be funny.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Do you reckon? So you reckon that you'll be able to take Jack?
I don't think I'll be able to take him. It'd be a good matchup.
Yeah,
he's got a bit of not width to him, Jack, but.
Well, if London International are listening and they want entertainment for the evening, here we have it. Harry Charles.
Not before the World Cup, at least.
After.
Yeah, you'll have to do that after. I don't know how we'll sell that one. It's like, yes, Jack Whittaker and Harry Charles will be scrapping.
Jack's strong as a bull, though, so I'd have to just...
I reckon you've got a bit of nasty in you, though. To pull a cold-ass move about engraving your name on a back of medal, I reckon that you have it... I reckon if you'll take one punch and then you'll just see red and then you've got a bit of nasty in you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I got the reach on him anyway.
Well, there you go, Jack. Basically, Harry Charles has just called you a little bitch, and he'll see you at London International, and I think it'll be a good session.
But you can't clip that bit and put it in. You'll feel
that is the main bit that's getting clipped.
That's the caption of the podcast. But yeah, we touched on it. London International. What was it? Last year, 2022.
21.
Yeah, 3 5-star wins.
Yeah,
that was insane.
That was mad. That was
best
week of my life.
Yeah, that must have been so good.
Yeah.
Do the show jumpers at London International hit it hard?
Don't know what you mean by that.
Really? Are we going to go that way?
Well, I just want to say, for legal reasons, that has got nothing to do with illegal substances.
This
man is so odd. He came into this studio, right, and checked in. He's like, I need to check in and let people know I'm here for a doping agency. This man is legit. I just want to square that up after the doping conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, are you out partying? Is London International a little bit of a celebration for you guys when you're all together?
When we're done. Grand Prix over, we go big. Yeah.
What was it? So fill us in the plan.
We send it.
Obviously, we're invited this year.
Yeah, you can.
Game plan. This is the only reason we set up the podcast, is actually to get, because we tried
friends.
Yeah, we tried to get into all the high end level of London. They say no, you're just straight down. Just stay over there.
Oh, no. So after the World Cup last year, they had a little first year actually they ever had one, a little party in the thing. Just kept it quiet though. Grand Prix the next day. One more thing. Grand Prix done. Straight to tape in London. Big table behind the DJ.
Nice.
Fucking mental, yeah. Serious.
How many end up going to that in total? Literally everyone?
Last year we had like 20, just 20, like all close friends and stuff, and it's
amazing.
And to be honest, last year we put on a party then on the Tuesday.
Really?
So we had about 120 come to that in London in Chelsea Lodge.
What?
So a few people flew over from it and everything, and that was the end of year celebration. We did a big Christmas do, but that's not happening again this year, unfortunately.
Who if you like,
now that we've asked,
now we've asked.
If someone's taken a day.
It is happening. They're just not publicly saying it's happening. Right. So all of you show jumpers, all the big names. Biggest obviously being you, European champion and all. Who is the most likely to get absolutely rat-arsed and is a write-off at the end of the night first?
I just can't. Some things you can't say.
You can. You 100%
No,
can.
because it'd be too personal for them. I can't.
I'll bleep it.
Do they deep down? Do they know that they are that person?
They are the one that
or
goes out
they
first.
are like in denial?
Oh no.
They know.
I'll just a bit quiet, say the name, and that gives me an easy opportunity to bleep it. Who is it? Love that.
Amazing.
I love that.
So good.
Yeah, if it happens again, I reckon we'd be a good laugh.
No, I don't doubt you would be. I don't know.
I know. Well, please, yeah, no, really appreciate going
Yeah.
because I feel there's a lot of people there that I can learn about horses from.
You get a sponsor for the podcast, then really.
Honestly, I still think Rolex would actually like rate us.
Well, I can pitch it to them.
I think you're our best chance of getting pitched. I think put it this way, Harry. I don't want to put you in a situation where I make you look like a dick. And I feel like if you go to Rolex and say, look, those two guys, proper lads, they're doing something that's never been done in an industry that actually is coming up to the modern times, and you should sponsor them. I heard
Longines were interested, so
that is true. Longines did put out a pitch to us.
Yeah.
But I'm holding out for Rolex.
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
So
use that as leverage.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely, 100%. That's the whole purpose of that statement there.
the title of this episode will be Rolex or Longines to sponsor this episode. Rein It In with Ash and Josh, Harry Charles. That is going to be this episode's title. Longines offered us like 5 mil, 5 mil. So yeah, we'll just take a couple of free Rolexes and that'll be it.
What is the future for Harry Charles?
To be honest, just keep doing this and enjoying myself and keeping great horses with me and great people around me. And the rest I hope will come. You know, results will follow, and it's just having the good horses in your stable and good owners. And yeah.
You're obviously still so young. You've already competed at one Olympics. Obviously, you've got many more ahead of you. What happens if you achieve, say, gold individual, gold team, Europeans, exactly the same? A bit like I would say similar to what happened with Tyson Fury, won the heavyweight championship, lost all motivation and purpose. How do you see yourself having the career that your dad did, where he's still riding late in his 60s? Or is that something that maybe you don't want to do and you want to go off and experience different things? Or have you put much thought into that?
Yeah, I thought about what life would be like, but I just can't think that far ahead. I don't know if I'll be ever fully fulfilled. You always one more class you want to win, because nothing beats the feeling, and I think you're forever chasing that feeling. So when you sit down, you stop, and you're haven't felt that feeling in a while, it probably would be a bit hard. And but just got to keep enjoying it and take every day as it comes, really, because it can soon go the other way, and you find yourself without horses and you can't do it without that. So.
Yeah.
Do you have? Is it all owners for your horses, or do you have any like horses that are yours, like you've brought up? Or
no, we have quite a few of our own. We have quite a.
So how many is there in total on your?
We have in the yard at the minute it's 40, and then we have another about
small amount then.
Another like 30 out here just in young stock and mares. And then we have for my string, I have 2 really really good owners. So they own actually the majority of my top horses, and then we own a couple of them in the middle as well.
Yeah. So how the ones that you own, are they like split between like you own this, or your dad owns this, or your sisters own this? Is it? Or is
I have one of my own ones. My dad owns one, and then we actually have half shares in the owners. Come in half of us on some of them as well. So
right, okay.
That's really nice. It keeps us like. It's just nice to do it together then.
Is there a little bit of competitiveness between the lot of you?
Well, yeah. Yeah, it can be. Sienna's turning into a really fast rider, and she's just coming up to the 5 stars now, and she's
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Man.
she's pretty hard to beat though. So
Okay,
she's done 3 5-star shows. She's won 2 of them already.
That's a good ratio.
It's a good ratio, and Scarlett's also really, really good. Jumps a lot of clears. So yeah, there's a few battles between them, but nothing. All friendly, nothing nasty.
Well, I don't see European champion in her bio. Well, to be fair, I don't see it in your bio anymore.
Not yet.
I think it's good though to have that level of. It's that competition that pushes you on in the right way, and it's like you say, like you was dealt a hand that actually people will see as an unfair advantage. It's not, as an advantage. You've got to take what you're given, and if you can approach that with the right mentality, then it is an unstoppable force for you. To be surrounded by people in your family that you're going to trust their opinion, and also they've got the reputation that they have, there's no better combination to have that. And then on a daily basis, see them ride, because you could have an off day and then see a sister ride and go, actually, she's got an eye and she's seen something better than I have, and has implemented something. I can now take that away. And I guess there's a lot of people that don't have that. We've spoke to different riders that it's actually quite a lonely job. It can be with horses, and I never had that perspective because I've never worked with horses, and it's only since hearing different people where they go up to the yard, they don't actually see many people, and their connections with their horse, you don't have that almost subconscious team around them. It's quite a lucky place to be in that situation.
Yeah, you nailed it where you said there, like, we can bounce ideas off each other. If I see Sienna's doing something, I'm like, oh, shit, that's a pretty good idea, that works. Or same vice versa, Scarlett, whatever. It's nice to have, a bit of, you can get so stuck in your ways, and like you said, it's good to see how other people are doing it, and it's nice we can all work together. We all work, because we're all working as the same goal, so. Is
there a specific rider at the moment that you look at and go, I like what they're doing? They're almost like your role model.
Yeah, there's always been Scott's always been a guy I probably look up to the most, and what he's done in his career and how he's done it. And at the minute, Ben Mayer's insane how he's put a team of horses under him and planned it out. And so many guys. Steve Gerdat won the European Championships last week. The horse not been so overexposed, but he had that mind a whole year, and went there and nailed it. Like, that takes also something else. So loads of guys, they're just top professionals, and you can take a bit from everyone, really.
Ben Mayer, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. The man, did he break his back and then
had a back injury?
He had a back injury and then came back, and then because we went to London GCT, gutted you weren't there. I told Ollie that I went
Dublin.
and watched. I told Ollie that I watched him, but
I'll be in Dublin next year as well.
Mate, gutted.
It's much better.
Look, if you offer
Rolex next year as well.
Sorry,
you might have to do it for your podcast.
Well,
you
do
might
you know
have to be
what?
required to go.
We had this conversation. We want to do. Well, who was it? We were speaking to someone about Dublin yesterday about doing a live podcast where actually similar to like the
That'd be cool.
Good, the Bad, the Rugby. Have you heard of that podcast?
No.
James Haskell. They do
the
rugby.
Yeah, I have heard of it. Yeah.
We want to literally go to a pub or like an after show to somewhere, sell a few tickets, make some money, but then
that would be cool.
Just everyone has a drink. Say you, Jack, Ollie, come on, have a couple of beers, film it live, take some live questions. I think that'd be a banger of an idea.
That is a great idea.
Sponsored by Rolex.
That one was my idea. I will take that.
Was this the one you wanted to run by?
No, actually, mine was the celebration.
It was a celebration.
Yeah, so it's funny how
you can tell. Yeah,
there's the difference. Josh went and said this is actually a really good business strategy idea, and I went, let's get Harry Charles to do the wave at the Olympics. Thanks for that, babe. But yeah, I think Dublin. I think that'd be a fantastic.
That's probably the show that would be cool enough to let you do it as well.
Oh, wow.
All the other shows would be too like.
Yeah, but to be fair, we talk, and I'm not going to go down it because we talk about it all the time, so it's a bit repetitive. But we do talk about like modernising the industry a lot, and it's why we do the podcast.
Yeah.
And I think actually we hit a bit of a brick wall to start with, but we've been super lucky with a lot of the shows. We work with a lot of them, but the first ones that can come off the top of my head, Hoy's, London International, Royal Windsor, these sort of shows that sort of helped us and half step the brand, allow us to be us and not say they said no to some things, but some of those things probably they should say no to. But a lot of the stuff they haven't, and they've allowed us to push the boundaries. I think a lot of people are realising that there's a younger crowd coming up through horses in general.
I'll just look at you, and you got Joe Stockdale, Jack Whittaker.
Yeah,
There's
a few of
a
us.
group of young lads coming through that will be in the sport for the next 20, 30 years.
Hopefully, yeah.
But also, like you're the role models to like the younger lads as well, and
That's brilliant, because I would love for you to say, like, to camera, over the like years of experiences that you've now had, the good, the bad, what is one tip that you would say to a rider that is trying to make a career in the sport?
Well, to any young guys out there not sure about it in school and are getting a bit of shit for it, keep going. It's fucking worth it. It's fucking worth it.
yeah,
It all comes out in the end. It all works out all right.
Ollie's was very similar to that.
Yeah, I saw Ollie's one.
Ollie's was very much, well, get the girls in the end. And
It's
I was like,
wrong.
fair enough, lad.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you dating anyone at the moment?
You could call it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could call it that.
She in the industry?
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very new, very fresh.
Very, very fresh.
Can we like announce this?
Not
Like,
name dropping.
Oh,
no,
not
no.
name dropping.
Is
fair
it,
enough.
how have you found that sort of, because it's interesting, either people find it really easy to date within the industry or really difficult. And I can see both sides of it is
Yeah.
because you have those same hobbies, but also it's like sometimes you need to be able to have different things to then come back and then speak about and like have that connection on different things.
Yeah, it's. I've had a couple of girlfriends, and I'd nearly say they have to have some idea about the sport, because it's too hard if they don't understand it. You know why you got to be away for so long, and
Yeah.
the commitment it takes just is huge. And then to try and commit to someone else I've never gone more than a year.
Yeah.
I can't get more than a year.
That's your threshold.
Yeah.
How many months into this is it? So
Oh,
is it like
it's not even. It's not.
Not
It's
even
not
a
official.
month?
Not official.
not even a month? Well,
I can't say. I'm gonna get shit for this.
no. You can tell us off camera. You can tell us off camera.
Yeah, but no, she's great, and it's easy, and someone that makes your life easy and doesn't take too much, time away.
You
from
want someone that adds to your life.
not takes away. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
100%.
the
Like
golden
makes
rule, isn't
you.
it?
I come away from my partner and then I'm okay, but then when I'm with her, I feel like my better self. Like, and I feel like I have more energy to give out to other people. It's almost that like you recharge through people. I'm not just saying this because she's in the room. Like that, I'm
daggers, of course.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to come out and she's going to be like, "What do you want? What is it?" And I'll be like, "I have a Christmas list." But no, hopefully you get past the 12 months. But I'm really
Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
I'm really rooting for
so
you.
far, so good.
And if in doubt, if it starts to go a bit wavy, Rolex. Does everyone just get? Is that just your gift for everyone at Christmas? Just
No, I can't.
No, you just
Not
can't
yet. Not
abuse
at
it.
that
Like,
stage yet. No.
what have you got to be like Andy Murray level?
Yeah, Federer probably. Tiger
He
Woods.
is top tier. Do you
Yeah.
get to meet all the other Rolex athletes?
I met a few of them, but not met Federer or any of those guys.
That'd be
yeah.
Who is
so-
the biggest person that you've met?
Spieth. Golfer.
You're quite big into
golf. Oh, I love the golf.
Because they've just merged PJ with, is it Live?
Yeah, they've merged in the end.
Which is mental because I never thought they would. They're back and forth with that legal
All the live
battle.
guys are probably pissing themselves off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Honestly,
funny.
it's mental because everyone was arguing from PGA that they shouldn't be doing it and that they're just being bought with all money and don't go to live. And PGA are threatening back, like I think it was over 24 months ago, legal action. And now they end up merging, and the people that end up signing over 24 months ago
can come and do it again anyway. Like
Yeah.
Brooks is laughing his ass off. He got what 300 at
Yeah.
least 300 million.
It was
Plays in half
ridiculous.
the amount of tournaments, and he only went to two majors, won one, and was second in the other. So
Yeah, it's mental. And
For
this
him,
is
it's
what I
like-
think Liv was good at is, do you know what? There's a lot of similarities, I think.
we're living a global tour.
Yeah.
That's what I
100%. And this is why I respect Liv. It's why I respect GCT, and I've only been the once, and I saw it straight away, and I was like, I love what they're doing here. Is PGA fantastic? It's got the foundations, it's got the history of it, very prestigious, but there's a certain level where it's
entertainment.
Yeah, it's a bit monotone. Whereas Liv brings that side of
party side
of it, and it is
DJ on the tee box.
Yeah, oh mate, mental, isn't it? And it's like this. It actually brings something to it, and I think this is what I rate for GCT is they are bringing a level of entertainment. I still think there's more they could do.
Way more.
I still want the pyrotechnics, the cheerleaders halfway between rounds. I want the big like DJ sets, but they're the closest that like you could look at to like Liv, Formula One, that style of making
and
it.
I think that's the route they've tried to go down with it as well. And
do they have much input from riders at all? Do they ask?
To be honest, I'm not. I was on a team for a couple of years, and this year I decided not to go on one. I've kind of stayed away from a global tour a bit.
Was there any reason behind that?
I don't love it, to be honest.
No.
I don't love it for the horses, and the shows are very small and a bit cramped, and it's very VIP orientated. I mean, for me, like, okay, this year was quite a big decision I had to do. London's obviously my home show, and a lot of sponsors want me to ride. And then on the other hand, Dublin was the same week, and that is one of the best shows I've ever been. The crowd that comes to watch, I mean, you have 40,000 people in.
Wow.
Instead of, I mean, London, there's quite a few, but it's nothing like...
Nothing in comparison.
I mean, it's amazing and passionate. It's like, I find a lot of the time in the globals, you sit in the VIP, no one's really watching the classes. They're just socialise, having a few drinks or looking at the food.
It's a day out for them.
Yeah, which is fine, which is cool.
It is what it is. It's marketed as that.
Which is cool, but for me as a rider, I'd rather ride in front of, the people that come and like pay £5 and sit and watch from start to finish and get so behind it. Yeah. Then, guys just want in and out. I don't know. It's just a personal I mean, I still go and ride I'm riding in Rome this week, actually. I'm flying on Wednesday and I'm riding the global, but when I can, I'll always try and go to the other ones. But I mean, it might change in the future how depending on how route they go down.
How they develop it. Because I definitely think I get what you mean. It does feel like it doesn't need to be as small. Like, it can 100% be bigger.
Yeah, and you've got the demand. People will come and go. I mean, that stand in London, I only saw the videos, but the grandstand was full. I mean, they could easily put more in.
I mean, it was packed. But then sometimes I think, you've got to look at it from the idea of how do you optimize something for the right things.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not coming from perspective that I know a lot about it.
It's still so new as well.
Yeah, they're trialing it, but they're doing it. So how many cities are they doing?
Yeah, so that's the thing how they do it, because they do it in cities. So they want a central location. I mean, with a central location, you're not getting a lot of space, and for a horse show, you need a lot of space. Yeah, so that's what makes it very difficult for them, I think, to have a big old event, big arena, big warm up.
Because they've modeled it very similar to Formula One.
Yeah, they have. Yeah,
and I can't imagine this is one of the things that I saw. I think it would look more entertaining, or there would be more system and structure to it, and people would be more like invested, similar to Formula One. I agree with you. It needs to be bigger. It needs to be better for the riders, horses, and for also more accessibility for crowds and people to come and watch at different tiers. Because again, similar to what we have discussed, is the industry needs to be more modern and accessible for people of all backgrounds. Why would you not want it to be? But what I don't get is a lot of the chopping and changing of riders. There are bits to it that we've spoken about.
It's impossible to follow.
Yeah, I do understand, because we've spoke about this. I do get if your horse goes lame or gets an injury, it's very, very difficult. I get that. It's not a Formula One car, which track day, you've got 24 hours, your mechanic's got to fix it and go out. I understand it's not that easy, but I think it'd be better if they went here representing, say, the Equestrian Red Bull to the Equestrian Mercedes. You've got Jack and Harry is on Red Bull, and then your reserve rider is Scarlett, and then people sort of have an understanding of that, but then it makes more excitement for then the next year. You go, Mercedes, Harry's on a free contract. Mercedes is going to poach him. Is Red Bull going to take Scarlett on, or is it all of a sudden Joe Stockdale going to come and move from? Do you know what I mean? I think that there's more of a story to follow.
I mean, even when I was doing this show, like I was on the team last year, we get to shows and I'd ask before, what team are you on again? Like, didn't even We wouldn't even know what team, like.
That's crazy.
Because, I mean, every year, like, you have one guy, he's in his 4th year and he's gone on 4 different teams.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not enough found. It needs to be more, have one guy and that's his team. You know him from... So I think to do that, I think then you need to bring in contracts.
Yeah.
Teams got to give riders contracts, and then you've got to have teams buying riders of each other. Yeah. I think that's the only way to stop the chopping and changing.
Which is, we're talking about progression of it. Obviously, it's a fantastic concept, and we're just talking the progression side of things, how they can basically get more engagement for the public to be interested in it.
It also mainstreams it as well, because equestrian needs to be breached, like similar to your sponsor.
Which would be free to watch anyway. They used to. That's the worst thing they ever did. They had it free. It was free. It was actually used to be on Facebook Live all the time. Yeah. And then I guess COVID came and they tried to monetize it, but.
Is it Clip My Horse as well?
No, so Clip My Horse is separate. But there's always now there's a horse and country trying to get in on it. So it just makes it. It doesn't help with the whole,
also
really exclusive
commentators as well. I've heard 2 people that are going free.
Yeah, that's very true.
We'd make it a little bit more entertaining.
But it comes down to that sort of entertainment value of how are you showing it. Like, as well, it's that story, the contracts. I think you're bang on right with the contracts. That's the only way that works. I mean, how many riders are there? Like 6 riders a team? 5?
Yeah, 6 riders. I mean, a few guys do have good, and they get paid really well by teams, but not everyone. I think everyone, it's so team dependent. I've been on 3 teams and each team's been complete. God, I really need a piss. I'm going to have to.
No, you absolutely go and shoot for a piss. Absolutely. I tell you what, I think let's wrap it up here. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening.
We'll cut that bit out. Don't worry. That won't be it.
No, that's our main clip. Harry Charles, Olympian, European champion. Thank you very much for coming down. And we will do this again. We'll do our live show. This is 100%. We'll have it. We'll get absolutely gutted. And we look forward to having this back up. If you've been listening on Spotify, all the rest of it, make sure you go up to YouTube. You can see it on that. Anything else you got to add on that?
World's #1 equestrian podcast. Over and out.
Yeah, see you later on the next one. Peace. Oh, nice. Sweet. Run to the toilet, go.